just going to go through the absentees. Christian Sumano, Evelyn Ascona, Charlotte McNair, Beverly Sanchez, Michael Belvin, Nancy Coppola.
5.
We have quorum.
We have quorum. We only have 5. I just wanted to see if Charlotte had gotten in, and Michael. So if you're on the call, Charlotte and Michael, we didn't hear you announce yourself. You may be muted if you're on the call. Okay. Try again, and after we get started. Floor is yours, Chair.
Yeah, Dan, can we get the public announcement, please?
Yes. Please be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act have been complied with and satisfied, and that the annual notice, which gave sufficient notice of the time, place, and conduct of all public meetings of the Zoning Board of Adjustment of the City of New Brunswick, has been filed with the City Clerk and has been placed on an appropriate bulletin board and posted in the back vestibule of City Hall, visible to the public through the windows of the lobby of City Hall, New Brunswick, New Jersey, and has been transmitted to the official newspapers of the City of New Brunswick, namely the Home News Tribune and Star Ledger. The City Zoning Board of Adjustment intends to meet on a regular schedule and meet the guidelines of the Open Public Meeting Act by utilizing teleconferencing systems. Public participation at public meetings has been revised, and the public may participate through a conference calling system. The public is encouraged to call into the conference call-in lines through the phone numbers and access codes transmitted in the above notice to the Home News Tribune and Star Ledger and posted in the back vestibule of City Hall, visible to the public through the windows. During the public comment periods, I will first read public comments issued to the board, then those on the call-in lines who have interest in addressing the board will be organized by last name and called upon to speak. After all organized members of the public speak once or for no more than 5 minutes in any given public meeting portion, a timer will chime at the completion of each 5-minute period, and I will notify you that your time has expired. Public meeting assistance, accessing the call-in number, call the planning department at 732-745-5050.
Salute to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the
To
flag
the flag of the United States
of
of America, and to the republic
for which it
for which
stands,
it stands,
one nation, under God,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Minutes of the board's August 23rd, 2021 meeting.
Eligible voters who are accounted for tonight on the minutes are John Zimmerman, Michael Belvin, John Zimmerman, Sue McElligott, Ivan Adorno, John Cox.
I make a motion to pass.
Great. Sue.
Zimmerman, I'll second it.
John Zimmerman,
Yes.
McElligott,
Yes.
Ivan Adorno,
Yes. What does he think?
All right. So real quick, I'd like to just jump back in and do the roll once again, just to make sure that if anybody is in who we did not hear from. So I'm going to go again through the absentees: Christian Sumano, Evelyn Ascona, Charlotte McNair, Beverly Sanchez, Michael Belvin, Nancy Coppola. If anyone on that list we haven't heard you say yes, please announce yourself. Okay. We only have the 5 then.
All right. Hey, Dan, for the public hearing, do you want me to read off the one that we're going to carry till the 10:25 and we go again, maybe?
Just to do that, please. Thank you.
Sure. Robert and Linda Leckie, 155 Livingston Avenue, Block 181, Lot 4, ZB 2021-05. Primary and final site plan application with D&C variances to convert the first floor of an existing mixed-use building from office to residential use. A total of 4 residential units are proposed. Zoning District C-3A, Community Professional Office. If there's anyone that's on for this meeting, it'll be carried to the 10:25 meeting, zoning board meeting at 7 p.m. Arvin, is this the notice for it to be carried and they won't have to be renoticed?
I haven't had a chance to actually review the notices to make sure it's proper, but if it is proper, then there won't be a need for renoticing.
Okay. Thank you. All right. I'll call the next application. BRG MORRELL LLC.
Excuse me,
Yep.
Chairman Cox.
Sure.
I think the other application's also being carried. Is that right, Katie?
Yeah, Dan, that's
No,
correct.
can you,
Oh, this is Katie. They wanted to be carried to October for 42 Joyce Kilmer.
Okay.
Two Joyce is also being carried.
I did not know that. Okay. I will read it off though. 3M Investors LLC, 42 Joyce Kilmer Avenue, Block 147, Lot 7, ZB-202106. Site plan exempt application with a D&C variance to construct a 2-story, 2-family residential dwelling on a lot that is currently vacant. Zoning District C-1, Neighborhood Commercial. This will be carried till the October 25th meeting at 7 p.m. Again, Arvin, is this going to be the proper notice that it is carried, or will they have to re-notice all?
As with the Lecky application, I've not reviewed the notices yet. If notice is proper for this meeting when I review, then they won't need to notice again. But if it's improper, this would be, they'd have to renotice, I'm sorry. But if notice is proper, this would be the public announcement that it's carried until 10:25 with no further notice.
Thank you. Okay, so then we'll move on to the BRG MORRELL LLC, 52 and 58 Morrell Street, Block 77, lots 30.01 and 32.02, ZB 2020-17. Primary and final site plan application with D use and C bulk variances to construct a new 3-story multifamily residential building with 10 units and 10 parking spaces. Zoning District R-5A, single and 2-family residential. Peter Lanford, Esquire.
And Mr. Chairman, before
can the
Mr.
board hear
Lanford
me?
starts,
Arvin, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm sorry.
Actually, this is,
Okay.
is this Mr. Stahl?
It is I, Arvin. I'm on the phone, as opposed to, I was coming back from a meeting, so I didn't want to hold anyone up.
Mr.
The
Mr.
question I
Stahl,
had,
we only
Arvin,
have
and
5 members present today.
I know. And are all 5 members eligible? Because I know there was a flip-flop, if you will, excuse that legal jargon, where one person was not going to be there tonight, then someone read. Are they all eligible? I mean, I think you may want to carry this to the 25th.
Yeah, the
I'm
5
trying to-
members that are present here today are all eligible. And I know that you've got your professionals here, you have your court reporter here. But since we won't be able to close the meeting, since the board members that review the transcript, if you wanted to have them review the transcript, may have some questions, your witnesses would have to come back. I'll leave it to you, Mr. Stahl, if you wish to proceed today, or if you want to put it on at the next meeting.
This is Dan Dominguez. I'd like to ask through the sheet one more time just to make sure, in case they've been having some technical issues. I don't think that they are here, but I just want to give it one last shot if that's all right with everyone.
Sure, go ahead, Dan.
Thank you. All right. So again, just the absentees. So if you're on the call and you hear your name, it means we haven't heard from you yet tonight. Okay. So Christian Sumano, Evelyn Escona, Charlotte McNair, Beverly Sanchez, Michael Belvin, and Nancy Coppola. All right. If any of you are here, We can't hear you. We haven't heard you. You are marked absent currently. Okay. I don't believe they're here.
Can I,
Okay.
do you have another matter on, to consider now or a resolution so I can speak with my clients for, several minutes and then get back on?
You're the only application, I believe. Is that correct, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, that's correct. The two others were carried.
Mr. Chairman, would you entertain a brief recess for a few minutes so that Mr. Stahl can actually speak to his client? I realize we've sort of put him in an awkward position. I apologize, Mr. Stahl.
Yeah,
No,
we
no,
can.
not from you.
Yeah, we can give Mr. Stahl a few minutes to contact his client and go over what their next option is.
All right, good. I'm going to put you on mute on my phone and then I'll talk to my client. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yes, I'm. Yeah?
Mr. Chairman, this is Arvin Ital again.
Yeah, Arvin.
If I may inquire of the 5 members that are present here today, if through the chair, if I may inquire if any of them feel that they may have reason to disqualify themselves or if they have a conflict with this application, just to be doubly sure that we don't run into a problem where we proceed and then find out that there's a disqualification.
Yeah, thank you, Arvin. I keep forgetting to do that. Is there any member of the board that has a conflict with this application?
No?
I do not.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Arvin, for reminding me.
Tim, how many people are on the board? It seems like there's five in this. Second month. Jim, while you guys are on the phone, when you guys are talking, they asked a question to the board members. Does anyone of the board members have any discrepancy with this plan? Has any feeling that they can't vote for this plan? Can't vote on it. And everyone said they were fine. But I guess at the point is the problem we're running into that thing, we're going behind so bad with the trucking and zoning that we're gonna miss a full year. Okay, let's do that. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Wait,
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, this is Charlotte. I wasn't able to get on.
Oh, hi, Charlotte.
Are you all still having a meeting?
Yes, we are.
Okay, sorry I'm late and
It's
I
okay.
couldn't get on. I'm just having trouble.
Well, that gets us to 6.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry, honey. I'm so stupid. I can't believe I stopped paying attention.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, Jim Stoy. I understand the sixth member has now come on board.
We're up to 6 now, Jim.
Oh, thank you, Dan. All right, so we'll, I have all my professionals are on, and any questions that anyone who read the transcript have, they can identify the questions. I respect the board enough that I don't usually do summations. I think we put on our case. It's 10 residential units and a multifamily with 10
Jim,
parking spaces.
Jim, I think we
Yes.
have to formally come out of recess, and I have to probably do roll to add Charlotte
Oh,
to be present here.
I'm
I think
fine.
technically we're still in recess. So if you're ready,
Okay,
then we
thank
can
you, Dan.
take our steps to get out of recess.
We're ready.
Arvind, how
We
do
could
we
just
come out
take-
of recess?
The chairman says that they're out of recess. You're out of recess. And if you want to just do roll call again,
Yeah, I just want to make sure we're doing the right steps. That's all.
you
Arvind.
are.
We'll call the meeting back to order. Dan, can you do roll call one more time, please?
I appreciate that. Thank you. Christian Sumano, Evelyn Escona, Charlotte McNair.
Yes.
Thank you. Beverly Sanchez, John Zimmerman,
Here.
Sue McElligott,
Here.
Carla Castaneda,
Here.
Michael Belvin, Ivan Adorno, Nancy Coppola, John Cox.
Here.
That's 6.
All right.
Okay. May I repeat? Yes, Dan, I'm sorry.
Yeah. The floor is yours. To
Mr. Chairman, did we call this application?
you know what? I may not. Yeah, no, I did call it before.
Okay.
I did call it before. Yes, I did.
And Mr. Chairman, if I may also suggest to Mr. Stahl, if he puts on his application this evening with the 6 members, prior to going for a vote, if I could just ask if any of the board members have an application with going forward with a vote this evening, and if any member exhibits any concerns regarding the application, then Mr. Stahl may wish to adjourn to have a 7th member as well. Mr. Stahl, would that be okay with you?
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the suggestion.
All right, and one other thing, I just want to once again ask all members, since Charlotte came on. Charlotte, do you have a conflict of interest at all with this application?
No.
All right, thank you. Okay, Mr. Stahl, you can go.
Yeah, as I said, I'm going to be very brief because I always respect the board's ability to hear me and my experts, and then for those who have to read the transcript. All of my experts are on the call now and are available for any questions. There are 2 existing residences that house college students on the present piece of property. The proposal is, of course, to put what we think is a very fine building, having 10 units and 10 parking spaces. We worked very hard with the TRC who are worked with us, and we went through I don't know how many iterations or revisions to get to where we are. So we are requesting, we're providing more housing for students. We're providing it in an area where there are housing for students, as indicated by Mr. Antisel at the last meeting. So without, we were going to ask that this board consider favorably of my client's application. Thank you very much. And if there are any questions, I say Frank and Susan are on and available for questions.
Thank you. Dan, are all members that are on the call today, were they at the meeting last month? And if not, do we have a paper signed that they listened to the tape and they for the last meeting?
To that question, I would defer to Katie.
Okay, Katie?
Yes, Chairman Cox, we have certifications from Carla Castaneda and Charlotte McNair. Everyone else on the call was at last month's meeting.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted that on the record. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, hey, Dan, do I open it up to the members of the board for questions now? It's a little confusing bringing it back.
Arvind, I'm deferring to you on this.
Right, so we would open it up to members of the board first, Mr. Chairman, and then members of the public. We had not
Okay.
closed the public portion last time, I don't believe.
All right, thank you. Any member of the board have any questions or comments on this application?
No.
I don't.
I mean, this is John Cox, Chair. I know my biggest concern is the parking. I know there's a lot of students going in there, and there's only 10 parking spaces available for them. I know Rutgers is right there and all, but that just seems like a very little amount of parking for that proposed building. And I know I have asked that any parking permits that would be available have been given up for permit parking on the streets around the building, and I believe the client has already accepted that. But that's just my concern. There's just a lot of students that will be living there and only 10 parking spots.
Frank, did you want to address that? Frank Antisel?
Sure.
Frank on? Go ahead, Frank.
I'm on. Can you hear me?
Yes, Frank.
Yes. I mean,
You were sworn in at the last meeting, correct?
that is correct.
Yes.
And your credentials have not changed since the last time you were before this board, correct?
That is correct.
Right. We'll still accept you. Thank you.
We have proposed one parking space per unit, and going back and looking at your master plan, that was something that I know your previous planner had indicated in the master plan that typically with uses like this, one parking space per unit is acceptable. So, and we looked at a number of the other similar buildings in the area, and they all were sized basically for one parking space per unit. So we tried to be similar to everybody else in the neighborhood.
And how many students will be living in that building?
In our building, it depends on if we're at full occupancy. I can let Susan address that.
Susan?
Yes, I'm here.
Susan, just
Total,
yeah.
Yeah,
total maximum occupancy?
I'm just looking it up 1 second.
I would also indicate that, we have the bike racks for bicycles. We're in an area where we can get to public transportation. And as Frank indicated, we're within the goals of the master plan. I'm not trying to argue. I'm just trying to, state our case because we think in that area. Go ahead.
Yeah, and also when you're looking at students going to Rutgers, if you are to drive your car to Rutgers, parking at Rutgers is very difficult, and it's pretty frowned upon to drive to Rutgers. Most of the kids these days are using Uber and Lyft and the buses at Rutgers. So I understand the board's concern. If this was strictly a regular residential unit, I can understand that. But this being college housing, I think the majority of the college students are going to either walk, take the bus, use Uber, or Lyft.
So this is Susan Chefmaker here. And I was sworn in before and nothing has changed in my credentials.
All right,
Mr.
thank you,
Chairman,
Susan.
if I may, she remains under oath, and her credentials have not changed. So if the board would continue to accept her.
Yes, we will continue.
Perfect. So the total occupancy is now 52.
52 and 10 parking. All right, thank you.
Sure.
Any other member of the board have any questions for any of the witnesses?
No.
All right, seeing none, I will close the, I will open it to the public. If there's anyone from the public that wishes to speak, Dan, can you please make a list?
Yes, thank you. Seeing that there are not that many members of the public here, I'll just open it up generally. If there are any members of the public who wish to speak on this application, please come forward and I'll take your name and we'll put you on an initial list of speakers. Anyone at all? If you're
Yes.
on,
Can you hear me?
yes?
Charlie Cradaville here.
All right, let me just turn you down real quick. And just anyone else, if you're on the phone, it's *6 to unmute yourself, or the little microphone button if you're on the computer to unmute yourself. So once again, if there's anyone who from the public who would like to speak on this application, please announce yourself. Anyone at all? Last call. Seeing none. Chairman Cox, the only speaker from the public we have is Mr. Cradaville. Cradaville, can you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Charlie Cradaville, Kratovil.
Mr. Cradaville, do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right, floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, members of the board. Charles Cradaville, you know me well by now. I just had a few questions about the applicant and their proposal. The first one is, what is the relationship between this project and the apartments across the street that are known as the Hub at Morrell? Is this the same company or is this a different thing?
This is a different owner.
Okay, thank you. And can you tell me who is the principal or who are the principals of the LLC?
Tom Butler Sr. and Tom Butler Jr.
Right, right. And any idea what the rental price will be for the units monthly?
Do we have a range, Tom? Mr. Butler? Hello?
Yes. The range will likely be per person. We typically rent out, an individual unit, somewhere between 2,500 to approximately, 4,000 to 5,000, depending on the size and the unit type and how many people.
And this would be, 10 units. How many bedrooms total?
It would be 10 units.
10 units, and how many bedrooms?
Susan, is that something that you have in front of you?
I have 32 bedrooms total.
32 bedrooms, okay. I heard some testimony just tonight about, supposedly most Rutgers students, use alternative modes of transportation. Uber was mentioned and others. And while that's certainly true for many students, it's been a while since I've been a student at Rutgers. I'm just curious if there's any, resource that would back up that claim that a majority of Rutgers students get by without a vehicle here. Is there any support for that?
Frank?
It's based on my experience around the campus, and also myself having 4 college students. I can tell you they typically use Uber and Lyft, and you would not want to see my Uber bill each month.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I know that's anecdotal, but certainly, I'd be curious if there is any research on this in the New Brunswick community. What percentage of students actually bring a car to campus? I know I went to school here, and some years I brought a car, other years I didn't bring a car. And yes, it did depend on the parking availability, but you got to figure folks who can pay these high rents are likely to be the demographic that's going to have a car. And 32 bedrooms, that's going to be, a lot of people, and I don't know that 10 parking spaces is going to be enough. I also understand that, there's a lot of other developments like this going into this neighborhood. And, I'm just concerned that, the combined effect of all of them going online and, them catering to the higher wealth group, whether it's students or non-students, that's going to lead to more vehicles being in the neighborhood than if there were, for instance, affordable units. And I don't think that 2,500 is affordable. Certainly not 4,000 or 5,000 a month. So my concerns are about affordability as well as the parking. And I don't know how the board is going to vote, but if you do get approved, I wish you well. But I do think that everyone should proceed with caution because the neighborhood can only handle so many vehicles, and we've already seen a lot of these projects come online recently. So thank you for answering my questions, and wish everyone well. Have a good night.
Thank you, Charlie.
Chairman Cox, that was the
Yes.
only speaker.
That was the only speaker. All right. We'll close the public portion of the meeting. I guess,
Chairman?
yes, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, in light of the fact that there are only 6 members and some concern, I'd like to carry the vote again to October the 25th, at which time hopefully we'll have 7 members.
Sure, I'll
carry with without further notice.
Okay.
And Mr. Chairman, this is Arvin. So
Yes, sir.
the public portion is now closed. Is that correct?
That is correct. We closed it.
Okay. So, Mr. Stahl, unless there are any questions from the 7th member at the next meeting, it would just be your summation.
Yes. I understand. I explained that to my client that, he asked me, why was it opened again? I mean, for information. And I explained to him that once it's opened and there are questions, that the public gets another bite at the question. So if no one else asks questions, then we'll just have a decision next month.
Yes, that is correct. Arvin, do we have to take a vote on carrying this, or we?
No, it's just an announcement that it's carried until the October 25th meeting without further notice.
Okay. Application BRG MORRELL LLC will be carried to the 10/25/2021 zoning board meeting, and it will not be open. We will not reopen it to the public unless the 7th member has questions, so that the public can then ask questions on those questions. All right.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and board, and you should all be healthy, wealthy, and wise, and be safe. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Stahl.
Hi, Mr. Arvin. Thank you, and Mr. Dominguez.
Have a good night, Mr. Stahl.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Other matters of interest to the public? Anyone from the public have any other concerns or comments they'd like to bring to the attention of the board, or anyone from the public? Seeing none, we'll close that portion. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
This is Sue. I'll motion to adjourn.
Castaneda, I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.